Halloween was always a special day on the farm. The leaves had turned a brilliant shade of crimson and gold, and the brisk October air rustled through the cornfields, creating an eerie symphony of whispers. I had grown up on this farm, and as darkness fell on that fateful Halloween night, I knew it was going to be a memorable one. The barn was dimly lit with flickering candles, casting long, ominous shadows. We had transformed it into a haunted house for the local children, with cobwebs, skeletons, and all sorts of spooky decorations. I was responsible for playing the ghostly figure who haunted the barn, lurking in the shadows, ready to deliver a jump scare to the brave souls who dared to enter. As the first group of kids, dressed in a motley of costumes, approached, my heart began to race. I had a ghostly costume of my own, complete with a white sheet and eerie, glowing eyes. With a sense of anticipation and mischief, I awaited my cue, hidden in a dark corner. When the kids ventured further into the barn, I sprang into action, letting out a blood-curdling scream. The children screamed in return and ran out, laughing and shouting. It was all in good fun. The night went on, and each group of children was met with the same jump scare, followed by laughter and candy. But as the evening progressed, things took a strange turn. The atmosphere in the barn seemed to grow heavier, and the shadows became more foreboding. The candles flickered wildly, and the air grew colder, as if a real chill had settled over the barn. I could sense something was amiss, but I couldn't put my finger on it. In one particularly tense moment, as I prepared to unleash my scream on a new group of visitors, a sudden gust of wind blew out all the candles. Darkness engulfed the barn, and I froze in place. What was happening? As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I could barely make out the figures of the children, now silent and trembling. I reached for my phone to use its flashlight, but as I turned it on, the light revealed an unsettling sight. The children were no longer children. Their costumes had transformed into tattered rags, and their faces were pale and gaunt, with hollow eyes that glowed with an otherworldly light. I took a step back, my heart pounding. This was no longer a Halloween prank. The air grew colder, and the strange figures began to move towards me, their eerie, slow motion adding to the dread that washed over me. I stumbled backward, trying to find an escape, but the barn seemed to stretch endlessly into the darkness. Just as I thought I was trapped, a distant, anguished cry echoed through the barn. The figures froze, their attention drawn to the sound. I seized the opportunity and bolted, pushing past the strange, ghostly children. As I reached the barn's exit, I dared not look back. The cold, unrelenting wind hit my face as I emerged into the open air, gasping for breath. I never returned to the barn that night, and I never found out what had happened. The strange occurrences remained a mystery. To this day, I can't explain the jump scare that took a sinister turn, and I often wonder if the children were real or something more otherworldly. Halloween on the farm had forever changed for me, and the mystery of that eerie night continues to haunt my dreams, just like the ghosts I was supposed to play.